Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics.
Harambe YouTube, it's Charles here, and today I want to talk about a brand new title from a comic book company I have not been familiar with, that is Panick Entertainment, and the title is Savager. I really enjoyed it. From the art, if you like the cover art, which I think is brilliant, and it really sold me on the book to begin with, you're gonna love the art and the rest of the book. The writing is smart. It presents a lot of deep lore, but it doesn't overwhelm you with information, even though it's a very wordy and big book. And for the size of the book and the quality, $5.99 for the first issue was not bad. We'll see how much these next few issues are, but irregardless, the story has me hooked. I'll read you a little bit of the preamble and then give you my impressions on a couple of story points. I don't ever want to give a blow-by-blow of a comic book, because the joy of comic books is actually getting it in your hands, opening it up, and experiencing the art and the story for yourself. But with the preamble, it says, 100 years after a brutal invasion, Earth is a graveyard. Its organic life devoured by tentacled cosmic parasites. The planet's surface crawls with grotesque remnants, inhabiting the twisted husk of once living creatures, battling for dominance in a hellish new order. Among them roams Riley Phillips, the Savager, a former warrior now fused with the very parasite he despises. Consumed with vengeance and tormented by a creature within, he wanders the ruins of Earth in search of retribution. But when he stumbles upon evidence that there is other human life that may still exist, the Savager must confront the monster inside and reckon with his haunted past. Their survival may depend on it, as he becomes their final line of defense against a second permanent extinction. There's really not much more to say about it. It's not a title that you're going to give to your kids, but there's not a lot of vulgarity. There's no inappropriate art in here. So, I would say, good for a young adult to an old adult like myself. The language, probably not the best for the kids, but it's not excessive. If you're going to let your kid watch a movie like The Predator or Alien or something like that, then this book is safe. It's in that vein. It's a post-apocalyptic horror action piece, and the way that these creatures are drawn is beautiful. The violence is palpable, and you look at the art here, it's like you see this consistent death and decay of society, old husk of buildings and animals, and this lone warrior fighting against this parasite army, with the contradiction being that the only reason why he's still alive is because of the parasite that he chose to bond with in his initial battle and lost to these parasites. He had to make a bargain with this parasite in order to preserve his life. Not really to save anybody, but to get revenge. So, very, very, very hip book. This first issue was all about him fighting his way to Pittsburgh to battle this entity that we've come to find out is known as Krath, who is some type of leader of these parasites. I don't know if he's the main bad guy or if he is just a subservient bad guy. That much is not clear, but what is clear is that if you're into post-apocalyptic horror action, this is the book for you. And number 2 is dropping November 4th, or November 5th, my apologies. And we get a little preview of the cover right here. I'm not going to show you this last page because A very big plot point pops up at the very last page. Again, this book does not waste a page or a panel. So I highly suggest it. As far as a company I never heard of, a title I never heard of, and even an author I'm not familiar with, being Dirk Blackman, I really immersed myself into this world and really found myself enjoying it. So check it out, Scavenger from Panick Entertainment. This book gets an A+ from me, and the $5.99 price point is no deterrence. So I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. Pick up Scavenger at your local comic book store or online at midtowncomics.com or coffeeandacomic.com. I'll see you guys next time.